I had trouble with my cameras, my new cameras. I couldn't get to them sometimes, and they wouldn't display sometimes, and weird stuff.
Right.
Cleared my cache on the phone. I think I told you that. And that solved all that so far. Okay. We can do a search in news. Arduino projects. Now this is searching in the news. Share your best okay, this is what I ran into the other day. Share your best Raspberry Pi or Arduino projects. Okay, that didn't convert so slowly. That was not bad.
Raspberry Pi hidden in a toy telephone. Sent in by a reader. Photograph. MR Peanuthead / Guardian Witness contribute with Guardian Witness Matthew Holmes Monday, December 12, 2016 06.33 EST. More than 10 M Raspberry Pi units have sold since 2012, and many of them, we know, have landed in the hands of our ever-inventive readers. When the Raspberry Pi Zero launched in 2015, we asked you to share the projects you've been working on, but the past year has seen further development of the technology and exploration of its capacity, so we're asking again. After we published the results, including audio, visual, and entertainment projects, educational tools, and even festive ideas, many of you wanted to highlight similar or alternative home project enabling technology. So we're happy to say we're also looking for anything you've been making with open source electronics platform Arduino, or anything else you'd like to tell us about. Whether you have pieced a Pi or Arduino based system together from scratch as a fun joint project with the kids, or breathed life into some older tech you had lying around, contribute your stories and photographs, and we'll gather together some of your success stories or even tales of woe. You can share your pictures and stories by clicking on the blue Contribute button on this article.
Here's Frank.
You can also use the Guardian app and search for Guardian Witness assignments added to the homepage to keep up with all our assignments.
Yeah, we knew you were close.
Guardian Witness is
Close
also
session
readers'
today.
content on the Guardian. Contribute your video, pictures, and stories, and browse news, reviews, and creations submitted by others. Contribute with Guardian Witness.
That's it.
That's it.
What's doing the reading?
That is Natural Reader free.
Natural Reader. Open source.
It's free. It's not open source. It's free. I've used it for years. He's used it. The new issue is it has a web browser in it that seems kind of slow, but you can go and say, select this article and say, read this article to me.
Okay.
In the old days, you could do that, and it would, but you had to sort out the pictures, and the pictures sometimes cause problems. And see, it has, let's see.
That's
Raspberry Pi
You
hidden
bring it
in a
up in a
toy
web browser?
telephone. Sent in by a
No,
reader.
it's an application.
runs on the.
Runs on Windows.
Oh.
Not on. It has its own little browser built in.
What's the name of it?
What did I say it was?
Natural.
Natural Reader. Yeah.
Natural Reader.
So I keep your
Free. Freebie.
Natural Reader. This is the free version. It will extract the files it reads to MP3 if you want to. So like what I did is I scanned the books I was teaching, and if somebody wanted the audio tape, I could do that. And it also, see, it's highlighted up there. It highlights what it's reading. It helps your attention. People with ADD, not unlike myself, it helps. It's a teaching aid. It's kind of slow right now. I'm trying to figure out if you got the pay for version, if it'd be faster.
So
But
is that slow, or is it your computer that's slow?
Right. Right. No, putting it up on there is not slow. I was doing it directly at home.
No, I mean, when you do it directly on your computer, is it at just as slow, or
When I'm doing it, what do you mean?
looking at you just have it running on your laptop?
Yeah.
And you're having it play directly through your speaker, not trying to project or anything.
It's slow.
It's still slow.
It's about the same speed as here.
Okay.
In fact, it looks like it's maybe a little bit faster here. The issue is, it looks like, I'm guessing, that they have their own web browser. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay.
And it also built into the web browser is the guy that screens out this. Because what happens is, if you go to something like this, has embedded text.
Yeah.
And the little thing points at where it's reading. See where it says reader up there?
Yeah.
That's a pointer. If it hits one of these, it gets off because there's embedded text. And so that all gets out of whack. If you're not doing that, it seems okay. It is a bit slow, and you can tinker with it, but I think it's because it's a hog. It's a free, they took a web browser, somebody's web browser, and did everything in software, rolled their own.
What I was thinking is that if you were running that on an i7, let's say, instead of an AMD.
This is the
processor.
i5.
Oh, okay. That's the same thing.
Done.
Photograph. MR Peanut Head / Guardian
Okay.
Witness contribute with Guardian.
So you go back to the library, and we can kind of see what's going on. We can go back, and it's kind of quirky. Yeah, it won't go back to where it came from. It's going to go back to what I selected. So I got to go. There's news.google.com, and we'll select the Aleppo, and then I'll select the whole thing, see if I can get there. Okay, now I've pulled up that. Okay, I'm gonna try to listen now. Tell me wait. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That's actually not too bad. It must be a short article. Or my link at home is bad.
Media caption: BBC correspondents chart how rebels lost their hold on Aleppo after 4 years. More than 3,000 people have been evacuated in buses and ambulances from a besieged rebel-held enclave in the Syrian city of Aleppo, officials say. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, says the full evacuation of civilians and rebels is likely to take several days.
It turned the page for
Government
you
forces, backed by Russian allies, took nearly all remaining rebel-held parts of Aleppo this week. It represents a major victory for President Bashar al-Assad.
I'm going to commit to doing
She
something.
hailed the liberation of Aleppo and said history was being
I should have
made.
my Amazon Echo.
Global solidarity over Aleppo. How
So I'll do a
Srebrenika's
talk on the
survivors view Aleppo.
SDK.
What's happening in Aleppo?
For Amazon Echo.
What happens
That's the way
next?
that you're supposed to be able to
The evacuation of civilians, rebels.
interact with things that you want to do it yourself kind of stuff. It'll force me to figure out how it works.
Cool.
We're going to make the Echo control the robot.
Okay,
Why not?
why not? Alexa.
Do some stuff.
Yeah, do your stuff.
Google Home.
Show me. I mean, yeah.
Okay, Google. Do some other stuff. Have you seen the video where the two devices they're stuck in like an infinite loop with each other?
I don't remember. Oh, is this a commercial?
No, it's somebody on YouTube made
No, I haven't seen it.
set up a calendar event on Alexa on Amazon, and then set up a calendar event on Google. Said, Alexa, what is my calendar for today? And it said, you have a calendar event at 6 p.m. Okay, Google, what is my calendar event?
Okay.
Google would go, you have a calendar event at 6 p.m. Okay, Alexa, what's my calendar event? Stuck in that infinite. You have a calendar event at 6 p.m. Okay, Google. Okay, Alexa. The strange, funny things people make machines do.
A lot of people with Siri right now. A lot of people just play with that. My sister-in-law is one of those people who just says stuff.
I get an email every couple of days about new features that they've added to the Google Home. Play with them a little bit and go, oh, that's pretty cool.
The thing is, you wanted to say something wacky. You know.
Well, I could ask it. I've asked it all kinds of weird stuff. And some of it just sits there and goes, I have no idea. You know? Most of it, like ask it about some of the previous AIs that were invented, and it will tell you all about them.
So is this the Echo?
Echo.
Okay.
Echo. The dot. You got a dot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have there's a dot. I think the dot is the smaller version.
Yeah.
I got the
You got the
$187 version.
You got the big
It
one.
was just impulse, it's like click.
And it was flowing to me on the drone.
That was not what I intended to do.
Oh, you got the one-click thing. I know how to disable that. Trust me, and it ain't easy.
And it was flowing to me immediately on a drone.
Yeah.
For some reason, those things are back ordered. Maybe everybody's trying to get one.
Oh, I'm sure.
Including
Microsoft.
Microsoft has. You can find it on was it on Gadget or something? They're coming out with a device that looks like the dot, and it's going to be linked to Cortana. Or Cortina, or whatever that thing is.
There was something else. Microsoft has got Edison. You never talk about that. You never talk about the Edison was before the Jewel.
Yes.
The Jewel is definitely priced well out of range. The Edison is more expensive, but it's you can get them at Walmart.
The Edison is still it's out of my price range.
Microsoft. It's $48 at Walmart.
Oh, that's better.
I might get one. I'm still waiting for my son for the Jewel. They're kind of slow about that stuff. See, they can get that stuff off of their website. You know what I mean? If you want one, they get it on the website.
I mean, I've got the Galileo, and I've never done anything with it.
Well, you kind of have to be slanted toward Microsoft, except for the Jewel and the Echo use Linux. The Jewel, I think, will run one of those hokey versions of Windows 10, but it looks like it's slanted toward Linux.
I think Galileo will run one of those hokey versions of Windows, but it's kind of a Linux machine.
Somebody was saying that Windows is now Linux.
Windows is now Linux. How's that?
Okay, they have the Linux shell is actually in Windows 10.
Okay, I mean, is that an emulated shell? Because this has been done before. Like even in the old days, you had these simulated.
I don't know that it's an emulated shell, because I've installed a couple of things in Windows and it's used the bash shell, and I didn't install it. So, and I'm like, that's kind of interesting. There were a couple of things I actually did. That the file system is starting to resemble more of a Linux file system too.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But
There's a lot of hokey stuff about Windows, and it's gotten worse over time.
But I don't remember where I read that at or where I saw that at, but the bash shell is in, and Microsoft denied it for a while, but now they've just said, yep, it's there.
It's there. Yeah. Just turn it on.
It's there.
And then suspiciously, they dumped Internet Explorer and shoved Edge in its place.
Yeah, but you know that Internet Explorer is still there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know how to get it now.
They want to go with Edge for whatever reason. Edge is still a bit shaky.
I had to use Windows yesterday or the day before, and I started Chrome up, and I get this little pop-up message. Try blah blah blah. It's better and faster.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh God, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's bad enough I had to turn on Windows in the first place.
Okay.
Now you're bugging me to use your browser.
Do you have issues with Windows and your internet fails sometimes, and then you can't connect sometimes, and it goes to a text screen sometimes, and eventually, when you shut it down, it'll say update.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Okay, so they're doing that to somebody else. It's not just me they're picking on.
There's stuff going on.
Yeah. I did a disk repair, and it took like 5 boots to finish the disk repair. It had that one step, and it had another step, and then it had that dual phase step you see. It does the counting slow and then the counting fast. Yeah. And a couple of boots after that, it did it. It got it done.
This was not on your solid state drive.
Yeah, solid state.
It was?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to do a repair on that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
But I did. Well, it was because my PC was acting bad. And then right after that, I got a Windows update. And it did clear up, yeah. There may be, Leroy was saying he's seeing them act flaky, the solid state drives. He's warned me that there may be things to come. But, hey.
I don't have any yet, so.
Yeah.
I've had, see, we had one customer that had a solid state drive fail miserably, and once it fails, there's nothing you can do. You know, hard drive failures, sometimes you can actually recover that stuff.
Yeah.
Once a solid state fails, it's done. It's
done.
It's over.
They should not fail. I'm saying should not fail as often, though.
I would have a tendency to agree, but I have seen them fail. Which
should
makes
years and years and years. It's like an LED. You know, it should last 20 years.
You got, you know, of course, it was like probably first generation, maybe second generation, maybe a generation and a half. But even then, you would have thought the failure rate would be small, and I have seen 2 or 3 of them have failed on me. So
one thing, there is a weakness to them, and it's like their number of rewrites is not a lot. It's like 100. Okay, so they have some issues, and in fact, they have software algorithms that work to avoid doing rewrites. That's what I understand. I think it's rewrites. It could be just writes, but it's like 100 or 1,000. It's not tremendous. It's not many. It's not that many.
So over time, if you keep writing that thing, it's deteriorating.
It's deteriorating.
Wow.
But you know, if it's 100 rewrites, how many times do you rewrite? Do you rewrite 100 times? And if it has an algorithm to use new areas and keep track of where the usage is, it should last quite a while. And they say the later iterations of the drives handle it much better than the original ones.
First generations were pretty bad.
And I'm probably a couple of generations from first.
Probably. Well, at least you're probably 5 or 6 generations in now.
Okay. But so far it seems okay. And one thing, another question is, what happens when you cut power off to this thing? Because that happens to this guy, and it doesn't react well. It never has. This thing will just shut off. Bam, no warning. Goodbye. See ya.
You shut up on his own.
It'll just go dead.
I don't know why that is.
It doesn't handle the battery drain issue.
Okay.
Do you have that with your HPs?
Usually I leave them plugged up. And I don't shut everything down.
Oh, okay.
See, the thing is when I walk up to it, I don't want to wait forever for it to boot. So, it never powers down everything. I tried to do that for a while, and then I just got bugged. Because I go to computers and I go away, I watch television, I come back,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I go down to the basement and I have them down there, and I try to have them so that I can use it, within 10 or 20 seconds after I get there. It's just bothersome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather spend the money.
Yeah.
And just have them powered on most of the time.
Yeah, and I do, except when I come in to a place like this or carry it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, but I've noticed that's one reason I got the bigger battery.
That bigger battery actually is much better. Because easily, a lot of times, I have never gotten to that 3-hour point, but I've been close, and still had power.
HP's had bad batteries for a long time, and the replacement batteries for them were way better than the original batteries. But my HP used to do that. I mean, if you killed the power and the battery was even slightly low, off, just done.
Yeah. It just cut itself off, and no warning, no bye-bye.
Yep.
This thing, when it says battery low, you better be doing something.
Well, yeah, I mean the Chromebook.
It's got an 8-hour battery. So
when the Chromebook says that the battery's low, you've still got 20 minutes before you really have to do something.
Okay. This one's a little bit faster, but I've really messed up. If you let the battery get to that state on this thing, you messed up. It's 8 hours. Really, it's near that. I've been out there.
Yep, I agree. The Chromebooks have a really good battery.
They're wonderful. If you're just doing regular tinkering, that's when I have one. This is very light.
That would be perfect for my wife. She's a multitasker. She's got a phone. She usually has a laptop. She's got a TV with the remotes, and it's all going at the same time. But she's not doing anything heavy duty. She's not doing any documents or anything.
They got Windows versions of this stuff too, so should be okay.
Because the one she has now is pretty big. It's like as wide as that one. The one before was kind of like that size. I think she likes the smaller one better.
Okay. The 10-inch ones, I like my old Acer 10-inch. Yep.
I like it, except it's an antique at this stage.
The processor is slow, yeah.
But I installed
1 gig of RAM.
1 gig. Yeah, 1 gig. 1 gig of RAM.
I got one of those.
It's not upgradable.
Yeah.
The RAM is on the processor.
You can't add any.
Can't add to it. It's a single core processor.
When those things first came out,
they were awesome.
My sons got one of those for my wife, and my sister-in-law actually got a Linux version, which she later gave to me because she doesn't do Linux.
This one had Windows XP on it when I got it, and
it should run Ubuntu pretty good.
I stuck. I think it's Linux Mint that's on there, and I pulled it back out of retirement because Codebender shut down, so I needed a way to program stuff while I'm out. So this will do it because I've got the IDs and everything on it. Found out why it wasn't seeing the Chromecast. Fixed that.
Why wasn't it seeing the Chromecast?
There's a bug in Chromium, and it was a pretty simple fix, but it took a while to dig through all the bug reports to figure out what actually was.
That can be depressing. Actually, it can be, well, forget this.
Well,
You get tired of digging.
yeah, I had to stick a 32-bit OS on it because it's single core. Google, and apparently Chromium no longer is going to support 32-bit for either. So I've got the last version of Chromium that's going to work, and Google Chrome, they don't have a 32-bit for Google Chrome anymore.
Oh.
Everything's going 64-bit, so this thing is definitely a dinosaur at this point.
So nothing to do with these things.
DirecTV and AT&T.
Yes.
We're still conversing.
They got you.
They got me. Well, no, I'm still battling with them. I've probably got, maybe 20 hours total working on them. I battled with them last week, and I said, okay, I want that I saw, I want that rate. Well, they messed up and they split it into two different things, one to AT&T, one to DirecTV, la, 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 la. Fight with them, fight with them, fight with them, fight with them. And the guy that came over said, you can have up to 5 of these mini genies at no extra cost, just the installation. That was a lie. So I got those pulled. I'm going to send those back. And I had the lady gave me, they'll give you money. They gave me $48. Last time.
Real dollars or credits?
It was off the next bill.
Okay.
And I made it real clear what I wanted. I wanted to say it's supposed to be $105 total, no extra charges. That's it. No modem charge. You put a modem outside of that, I'm not renting your modem. No, it said all inclusive, $105. I expected everything that was in that package to be given to me for $105 plus a couple of bucks tax, because that was the deal we made. So I got $88 last time, or 48 bucks last time, and I'm waiting for the next bill to come in to see if it's $105 plus $7.99 for insurance, basically, on everything. So we're getting there. I am not optimistic, but I have made some headway.
So the plan that you have now is for 2 years?
Yes.
So since it's all one company now, you can go back to AT&T next time. It's AT&T.
I can't go back to AT&T because it is AT&T.
I know, but I mean, you can go back to the old. Did you have cable?
Time Warner.
You had Time Warner.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't have. Okay.
Or I could go to Dish or Time Warner. Okay. And also, I heard today, I was kind of keep track of this, and I saw a thing on DirecTV and their $35 a month deal, and that's all inclusive, but not internet. I don't think it's internet. That's TV.
What do you get for $35? You get the regular channels.
Netflix. You get the
regular channels plus
regular channels.
ESPN.
I don't know. I think they were dealing with ESPN.
If you don't get ESPN or TNT, or you need to get all the little Mickey Mouse.
I'm sure TNT that's going to be there.
Yeah.
TCM, no.
AMC. Actually, even TCM, because TCM is on Sling.
Really?
Sling gives you TNT, History Channel, Turner, 2 ESPN channels, CNN. They give you a lot of Mickey Mouse channels for it's $20. They say $20, really $21 a month.
Yeah. But not Fox News. You would know that.
No, you can't get Fox News.
Yeah. Okay, so the companies, these guys are saying, and I was reading the article on the DirecTV Now, I think they call it.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Sling probably, and they're saying by 2020 they expect to have the satellites gone. They won't.
That's all going to be streaming.
It's all gonna be.
I'm gonna tell you something about that.
It's all gonna be 5G. That's what the guy was telling
I'm gonna tell you something about all that flaky stuff.
Yeah.
In the end, if you really want reliability, you're gonna have to do an Ethernet connection. Because wireless, it's kind of like signal strength and quality of signal, and then every now and then you run into these glitches. If you run that straight Ethernet, it works perfect.
It's more reliable.
It's more reliable because I ended up in one case I got another modem Wi-Fi. Another Wi-Fi router because I thought that one's old and it's interference and all that kind of stuff. Nothing really helps except running it just straight Ethernet, and you never get buffering. Nothing. Yeah.
I get buffering.
I don't get any buffering.
Well, I only got a 6 meg line, so.
I have 10, so 10 or 11, something like that.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I have a lot of other stuff on it too. I got email servers connected to it, web servers.
10's a lot different from
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
actually. 6 reported. So, okay.
But even with the 6, if you had like a hardwired Ethernet, it's going to work better.
Oh yeah. Well, the 6 is hardwired.
Yeah. Okay, it should work.
But what I think is happening, and I think we discussed this, is I don't think DirecTV or AT&T, when they send the signal, I can get it through the dish, through the satellite, fine. But if they route it through the internet, I don't think they compress it or anything. It's 10, 20, uncompressed, and you can't do that on 6 meg. If they compressed it and do like some of the other guys do, who's at Netflix, they compress the hell out of it. You can tell, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, Netflix is pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a good app.
Yeah,
all across the board.
Yeah, your resolution
is better than Sling.
Yeah, okay. The resolution will change. Okay.
I very seldom have seen any.
But you got a good line. If you have a marginal line, you'll see the resolution change. And with me, that's fine. I don't. Not a big deal. If I watching a ball game, I might complain.
Netflix even monitors it and will pop up eventually and ask you if it was okay resolution because they've had to drop it down to whatever.
Oh, okay.
Were you satisfied with this? Because your line was so crappy that we had to drop you down to
they're
almost
right.
nothing.
They're good. I've got no complaints, but I could tell they changed the resolution. They didn't care. They did a good job of it.
Yeah.
And
well, Netflix has been at it a while too. They were first in the game.
Yeah. I don't think DirecTV has got that. And with AT&T, they'll probably fix that if they stay in the biz. But they're going to go. They're talking about being 5G by 2020.
Okay.
But if they do it right,
I've heard that.
Yeah. If they do it right, where they have local transmitters everywhere, local transmitters, they should be able to do that.
It has to be better than phone service. I mean, if you're making phone calls on a cell phone and it drops, now people just think nothing of it. But if you're doing something like TV, you don't want any interruptions. It's just annoying.
Well, I got satellite, so we get interruptions.
Yeah.
Well, we get, especially here recently after the snow and everything, we've got cable there at the hotel. And they've put those new stupid little cable boxes in everywhere.
Yeah.
It's staticky and it's snowy and it's just garbage. And sometimes it even just completely drops out. It's no better than watching it over the air. I don't know why pay for cable if it's going to be flaky.
Yeah. And we had the little adapters when we went Time Warner. They put adapters on, and they were fine.
Yeah.
No trouble.
It could be that there's just not enough bandwidth going into that building, or
bad
installs.
Bad
installs.
You got wiring. You got.
But still, if you're going to have cable, you want it to be, I mean, the whole idea of cable is to be pretty solid.
Yeah, good quality.
And ours isn't. We get static. We get the one of the channels that sits there. It's nothing but R2D2.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could pull this channel off the air and get a better signal.
I told you I have a antenna in the garage. Works fine. Every now and then the weather is bad and some of the channels are flaky, but on the whole, it's really great.
Ours wasn't doing it until it got really cold. So my guess is a cable line somewhere has cracked.
Yeah, there could be problems with that. Actually, that's something that they may not want to do it for you, but they can actually check the quality of that line. When they cut my line, they paid a lot of attention. And the guy that spliced it the first time, he said, okay, it's going to work, but the quality is not what it should be. And then they had somebody come out and replace a whole section of it.
Well, my guess is a tree limb has fallen on it, or it's just cracked one of the lines.
Now, I'll tell you, like if it's in your yard right now, that stuff is not guaranteed. Theoretically, unless they mess it up or some of the people who are out doing digging, if you messed it up, it would be on you to get it repaired. That's the same thing with the electrical. You just hope nothing ever happened, but they changed the rules so you can buy this insurance, or you're responsible for anything that's in your yard.
Yep.
Just don't dig.
Just don't dig.
Yeah, the equipment that I'm renting, all the hardware is rented, but you have to pay $7.99 to have it insured. Where Time Warner Cable, of course, they were charging the rear. Everything was covered.
$7.99 for what? A week, a month, or
a month?
And that's for insurance.
That's for insurance on the dish and the Genie. That Genie, I'm still hot on the Genie. I found out one of the mini Genies, the little boxes they drop everywhere, is RF to change the channel. Okay, and that's nice because I can now I've got it rabbited to the kitchen. Okay, so I can take the remote to the kitchen and change channels, but the volume is not. It's infrared. And so you have to be in the other room, which is fine because I'm not going to change the volume to the other TV. So I still love them there. That's just, and you can watch the DVR anywhere. That's nice. And probably everybody has that now.
I never DVR anything.
Well, it's nice. You can go like if you want to do your favorite show, like Cops. I got 44 episodes of Cops. And just say Cops record, push the record button, the series, say 5 or do all of them till you run out of disk space, and you're done. When you get ready to watch Cops, wherever it is,
right there.
Yeah, that's nice because some shows come on at odd times, like Motor Week. I like Motor Week. Just a Motor Week.
I usually, all this crazy stuff I watch late at night when I can't sleep. Like the Cosmos. Have you seen that? It's about the universe.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that series, God, at least 4 or 5 times.
How do you do that, man? No, your head ought to explode.
We watch.
When you see it, second, third time, you realize stuff. When he's just talking the first time, it's like,
It's that Tyson.
Tyson.
Yeah.
It's deep.
We sit there and watch Forensic Files. There's one channel that HLN, I think, and that's all they play is Forensic Files.
Yeah.
I got one for you guys. This came from a student I was trying to help who was taking an astronomy class. And you know about the Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
So, and you actually know theoretically what there was before the Big Bang. There was something that, like this, that everything that exploded was compressed into. Now, it's here, What's over there?
Don't start with it. He's gonna start it. I already warned you. It gives you a headache. Gives you a headache. Oh, I got a teeter hang up.
What's that?
A teeter hang up. It's an inversion therapy for your back. Okay. And it warns you. You'll see it on TV. It warns you when the first time you try it, have somebody else be there. Well, I didn't pay attention to that. I said,
what is this?
It's a flat table-like thing, and you lay down on it.
Okay.
And you tilt it up.
Okay.
Put your feet up in the air, and it grabs your ankles and it stretches your back.
Okay.
And I didn't know you have to have it absolutely balanced. So it goes. I'm sitting down on it, and it has a couple arms, and I blunk, and I was almost straight up. It felt like, and my phone comes out, my glasses come off, everything comes out of my pocket, and I can't get back up.
You're going, oh, my phone's down there. I can't even call anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's here.
And my ankles are clamped up to this vice thing.
That makes for a good movie, you know.
It was terrible.
He's been there a whole day.
Yeah.
Self-torture.
And I'm hanging like 2 foot off the ground. So, if you let go, if you can't get your feet out, I was going to crash. But it turned out I was like 11 inches from the floor. It was unpleasant there for a while. Now I know.
A short distance.
But everything came. I emptied my pockets and change everywhere. It was a nightmare. Now I got ironing board right beside it where I dump all my stuff. But it seems to be helping. I'll let you know how that turns out. If you got back issues, it decompresses all those pads.
You mean the disc? It decompresses
disc,
what?
Yeah.
The disc?
The disc and everything. They actually advertise decompression therapy. The chiropractors advertise that.
Yeah, actually, that kind of work. It works. It works like this. Probably once every 5 or 6 years, I'll get to the point where something will happen and I can't move because I can remember crawling almost to the car because you couldn't get up. It just hurt. Go to the chiropractor. They put this heat stuff on you, and they do a little stretching, and then you get maybe 2 treatments, and you don't have it for a while again. It doesn't happen that often, but when it happens, it's out of this world.
Yeah, I'm starting it out. Starting it out at like 1 minute sessions. Because hanging upside down is a little bit different experience if you hadn't done that recently. So I'm doing it 1 minute, 1 minute. They say to do it for 15 minutes. It's ultimate decompression.
Okay, so that's another way for somebody to make money.
Yeah.
See, I have this theory about the medical and all of this industry out there. These people can just think of all kinds of ways for you to spend money.
Make money.
Yeah, it's not too terrible. The teeter hang up, you see them on TV. I don't know what they'll send it to you for $14 to try it out. I'd spend $100 for one.
That's in general. I mean, if you think about the cost of the stuff, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But there's some medicine that you can take. Oh my God! So you'd say, maybe I should just die. All that.
I got some of the make you feel energy vitamin stuff. I got some of that my daughter-in-law suggested, and it will give you energy. Absolutely. You take it every day.
So what is it? Is it just sugar or what?
No, it's a bunch of stuff. I'd have to.
This is a bunch of stuff.
This stuff.
Yeah, a lot of you can tell they put in a lot of stuff that everybody humps is good for you, but it will get you energetic. It will, absolutely.
For me, the energy comes from, it's emotional. If something I'm really interested in or something I think I really have to do, I'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and, I'll do it. If I don't have anything going, I'll sleep till 7.
Yeah. Well, this stuff, you have to do something. You've got so much energy, you can't sit. No. what am I gonna do? I find something to do.
It's like 4 o'clock.
And that's not
I
like
got a
me.
new windshield wiper blades, because that happened yesterday.
Huh?
At 3 o'clock in the morning, I put in the windshield wiper blades.
There you go. Oh, I've got a to-do list now
Yeah.
that it's on the cloud, so anytime I start up the browser, it's up.
It's up. Gotta get on.
And I got it on Gail's screen too. So when she goes into Windows, gets up the browser, she's got the to-do list.
Yeah. I got 2 to-do lists for my wife. We put it on the refrigerator. But she's not one of these people who follows the to-do list. It's like right now, we got to make her a dental appointment. I got that on the list. Probably tomorrow, I'll make the dental appointment.
Okay. Well, the dental appointment goes on, that's just easy.
Well, that's easy, you know.
I do it when I'm there.
She doesn't.
And you can share your appointment book.
She doesn't follow the rules.
Yeah, well, that's another problem.
Yeah.
Not like she ever gonna follow the rules.
No.
Not like you always follow the rules
No,
too.
no.
Let's be fair.
No, she's gonna follow them less than me. And actually, I would like to be like that. You know, I talk to my students, like I don't make them, but a lot of them, especially when they're having trouble, so I sit down. Let's make a list of the things that you need to do, and let's prioritize, which one of these is most important. I talk to them about, you want to do that every day, because you'll be able to get those assignments that you said you didn't have time to, and you'll get the things that you're supposed to do. By nature, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I do it because, that's the only way I can function. But I'd rather not.
Yeah. It's getting easier now because I get to my spreadsheets now with the phone, and that's nice, and put something in it, and you can use audio to put speech.
I have multiple lists. I have paper lists. I have, even when I'm at school, I'm making lists. I'll send myself email to the lists. Just got lists everywhere. They'll keep you active in doing what you're supposed to do. Because there's a lot of things that you might end up doing, that
I'm so busy making a list. I forgot to follow the list.
Did you have a list of lists?
That'll be next. Your pointers and points to that list. At work, they had this class called Time Management. It's by a company called Stephen. It just made a big difference, because they wanted you to be more effective. That was their whole thing, personal effectiveness. But it had an impact. It was not only that. It was like how you deal with your boss, and setting up the meetings and controlling conversation, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Having it in a neutral place. Just these real nuances. In general, it's not supposed to be that important because you meet the boss's office. That's where it's done. If you really want to be heard, find a neutral place.
Yeah, I found that being forced to write a description of everything you do is, that's mind expanding.
Yes, and it's also helpful. Now again, that's one of those things that I can get out of. I can easily just deviate, but then I know it is helpful. And me and my youngest son go around and around with that, and he has all these ideas, but he doesn't want to spend, and he knows better. He's an MBA. He doesn't want to spend the time to actually write it down. I have this great idea, let's just go run with it. As a matter of fact, he's got this idea now for an app that he's working on, like a grocery comparison thing. And what he really needs to do is document it, and I'm going to help him with it. If you write some stuff down, like he wants to set up the database. I know pretty much what he wants to do, and I've set up a basic structure, but he's got to sort of participate in this. And he's not for this big documentation kind of business.
The voice to text thing is what I'm working on now, improving that. I'm not that rigorous, but it's getting easier to do. So it's the to-do list, the get list.
Oh, you mean with when you create the list for us to text?
You giving your voice into a cell on the spreadsheet.
Right. Okay. Microsoft actually doesn't work well, but Microsoft has that capability in one of their apps. The problem is that you have to train the thing. It works with Word, it works with Excel, it works with everything. You have to train it, and then even after you train it, it doesn't work well. It doesn't work as well as on your, like a lot of times when I'm sending texts, if I'm sending a long text, I will talk the text into the phone. And that works really well. This Microsoft thing doesn't work that well. It doesn't work as well as the phones in doing that translation.
Okay.
Part of that is, as I was found out about this thing, part of that is the microphone you're using and how much noise it hears in the background.
I'm using, what I usually use is, you know, you have this video cam, and it's the C9000, which is actually a pretty good cam. So that's why I generally don't blame it on the microphone, because it's actually a pretty good microphone.
Well, I just know.
And these microphones, do you think these things are good? And I just tend to think that it's crap.
Actually, it depends on the phone, really. A lot of these are phased array microphones, and they are far field. They'll hear far field, which makes them really good. Which means even if it's a small microphone, it's going to hear you from far away.
I noticed they're not bad, because if you're in a noisy environment, they seem, and I got the TV or radio in the background, and they seem to filter it out pretty good.
They do a lot of noise canceling, which is one reason why the voice recognition is a lot better, because it doesn't hear a whole lot of extra noise. I mean, in playing with this thing in a noisy environment, it rarely will get the right.
You know, I saw your video on there. I still don't get the point of the video. What was it supposed to, you were saying some stuff, and I think you had written that.
It wasn't recognizing the words.
Okay, that was what it was.
The sketch was supposed to just turn on LEDs, and I could say just about anything, and it would either recognize a word or whatever. And the point of the video was really to, I shared the video with the guy who invented this to see if he could give me some pointers. Pretty much, microphone was.
The microphone's a problem.
Yeah. And that, I mean, I got to build. It's working now, but I've got to build like a better microphone for it. Especially since it's going to be on a robot, and those motors are very noisy when it's moving.
Yeah, it is. Or unless you can put a mask.
I'm going to, but it's still going to have to be a better microphone. The mic on it's right down here. But I know, you know, he kept saying to use a headset microphone because they're a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that's not feasible for what I want to do.
That's probably what I should do with this Microsoft voice recognition. You know, have a headset and a mic.
It should work better because they have some noise canceling effects to them. But most of the cell phones, there's a bandpass filter in there, and it's only looking for voice filtering.
I know it works well, you know, because for a long time I didn't text, and then it gets to the point that a lot of people you're dealing with, look, that's the only way. If you don't send them a text, there's going to be no communication.
But you know, there's a lot of software going on in there too, and it's sending stuff up to the cloud and coming back. But
then the other thing was, I don't trust the email system like I used to. I was sending my son a login and password, and I gave him the computer name and everything. And if I put this in Google, I mean, if I send that to Gmail, everybody's got the password and the login. And they know what machine it is, so let's just send the text.
Send the text.
And the world should not be like that, where you have to think twice about it. Because they pick it up. Anything that you put up there, you know, if you talk about a car or something like that, or put a picture in a car, you're going to get all these ads.
Oh, yeah.
They looked in your mail and they said, "Oh, looking for a car. Let me send it to you."
They looked at your cookies.
Yes, and then they look at how old you are, and they send you all kinds of stuff. Oh my God. Things that you never thought of.
Cardholder services.
What's that?
Cardholder services.
Yes.
You ever heard of those?
Cardholder services.
There's a guy that calls you on the phone. You can get an interest rate. You can get a low rate on your card.
Yeah.
Are you interested?
I pretty much, anybody who calls me and I don't know who they are, I'm not going to answer anybody. So that's a filter. If they leave it,
Well, I've been having to answer them because I'm waiting for AT&T.
You're waiting for another call.
Corporate to call me.
Yeah.
I got a escalation all the way to corporate. From 7 to 14 days, they're supposed to call me. It's been a month.
So you got a direct pipeline to the CEO?
Yeah.
That's a quick way to get response, though. My sister used to buy these computers from Dell, and she was notorious. Because if they didn't do something, or she didn't get something she thought she was supposed to get, she would write a letter and send it to the CEO.
Oh, okay.
And the CEO is not going to respond, but somebody's going to respond, actually fairly quickly. How can we help you, Ms. Jackson? Oh, you want to just send it back? We'll send you a new one right out.
I found out that when you're I text them, always text, and I found out you can mail the text to yourself.
Mail the text to yourself.
Yeah,
you just put your cell phone.
You click the mail envelope at the bottom of the chat box.
Yeah.
And when it's finished, it'll mail the entire chat series to you.
Okay, this is when you were just texting.
It's an AT&T text box.
Okay.
So you can chat directly with customer support. And I have that address and a link. And so, boing, chat. Would you like to chat? Yes.
Yes.
And then mail it. While you're talking, you mail it to yourself. And when you're done, they mail it to you.
I hate to talk to those people. Any of them.
Well, the text, I feel better. They threatened to call me and said, I don't want to talk to anybody. I want this in writing. No.
I just want the problem solved. And I want to do minimal.
Well, it's good to have the documentation later on.
If you're persistent, you can get anything you want.
Well, I'm being persistent. They messing with the retired.
It's worrisome.
Yeah. Later on, I'm going to be in trouble, but right now, I'm making them.
You want to see this thing?
Let's go. What's the holdup?
Everybody's just been chatting about stuff.
Well, we like that because we didn't want to waste all time on that and then show it again next week.
Moby booting.
What?
It's booting.
Booting?
Moby is ready. The call sign is Bitibot. Bitibot ready.
All right, so see if it hears me. I've got the threshold set pretty low.
Okay.
Bitibot. Bitibot. Status. I don't think it heard me.
Threshold -10. Threshold set to 3. Threshold -10. Threshold set to
It's been learning from its
3.
life.
Threshold -10. Threshold set to 3. Threshold +10. Threshold set to 13. Threshold +10. Threshold set to 23. Threshold +10. Threshold set to 33. Bitibot is currently
There we go.
stopped. My motors are set to fast speed. Current distance to object 62 inches. Current temperature is 71 Fahrenheit. Current humidity is 34%. Battery voltage is 7.59 volts. Threshold +10. Threshold set to 43. Threshold +10. Threshold set to
I didn't put any
53.
kind of debounce on these
Threshold
things.
plus 10. Threshold set to 63. Threshold plus 10. Threshold set to 73. Threshold plus 10. Threshold set to 83.
BittyBot. BittyBot.
Put spaces between your words.
Forward.
Only left-handed people are in their right minds.
See, it heard it wrong. It should have said go robot go. So now, BittyBot.
Threshold minus 10. Threshold set to 3.
3? Really? BittyBot.
Is this supposed to give you a response when you say BittyBot?
Status. It's supposed to respond to all that stuff.
It doesn't have a blinky light to show you.
Threshold plus 10. Threshold set to 13. Threshold plus 10. Threshold set to 23. Threshold plus 10. Threshold set to 33. BittyBot is currently moving. Turning left. My motors are set to fast speed. Current distance to object.
Now, obviously, it's not
16
moving because I don't really have the
inches.
motors going.
Current temperature is
It would never hear us
73
if the motors were moving.
Fahrenheit. Current humidity is 33%. Battery voltage is 7.59
But there's
volts.
got to get the right threshold for the environment you're in.
So the threshold has to be set for this room.
That's why I'm playing with the buttons. I made a little routine up just so I could adjust the buttons, or just so I could adjust the threshold. And I didn't put any kind of debounce in there. That's why. So what do you?
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Good. I'm glad. I don't know what you thought you heard. I've got basic motor drive. I've got left, right, forward, and backwards, and it will respond like if I say, BittyBot, BittyBot, back.
How long does it take it to process a command?
It should be pretty fast.
Well,
Right.
BittyBot. See, the threshold's still not set real
Are
well.
you sure you're not overdriving it?
100%.
No, I mean, when you say BittyBot and you say it loud.
Back.
One step forward, big step back.
So it heard back that time.
You actually got this fan going.
Yeah. So there's extra noise.
Yeah.
There's no kind of filter on this microphone, so it's hearing everything. Here's this ambient noise. So
the secret is you must have a great microphone.
Secret's really good microphone. At least that's what I'm gathering from all the forum posts.
Makes sense.
And they've given me a circuit so that I could use a powered microphone, but this doesn't accept power, no amplifier or anything. So you've got to bring it back down to line level. And then there's a circuit that I'm going to build that's a bandpass filter, so it should filter out noise and just be voice And the one guy says that he's used it at 45 miles an hour in his car with this bandpass filter and had absolutely no problems with it. It's at 50 or 55, then it starts having problems again. See, it still thinks it's hearing stuff, and it's not.
One step forward, big step back.
See, nobody said that. Not even close.
It's like Siri.
Yeah. So my take is the threshold has to be set just right. If it actually had a dynamic threshold, like if it could sense what was in the room first and set its own threshold, I think it would be a whole lot better, you know.
The one of the issues could be AGC, and they've always had trouble with AGC. If it acts like, if it doesn't hear anything, it turns the gain way up. Well, then you got noise everywhere.
Yeah.
So AGC, you should be, maybe you can turn it off.
Well, that's, they're saying use an external mic.
Yeah.
Because you won't get the AGC.
Oh, okay.
Because he's got AGC on there.
Oh.
Bitbot is currently
Nobody
moving
said that. Not even
backward.
close.
My motors are set to fast speed. Current distance to object.
And you gotta do
10
a circuit to get a regular
inches.
microphone to talk to it.
Current temperature is 75 Fahrenheit.
He actually
Current humidity is
said to use one,
33%.
a mic that's got AGC, and then you run it through these filters and
Battery
this other
voltage
stuff
is
to get rid of the AGC.
7.08 volts.
But the mic's kind of needed so that they can hear stuff from a far field. I did, let's see if this, so it's got a battery voltage on it, and it should just instantly.
Battery voltage crucial low. Replace battery and restart.
So now it's not going to do anything at all. It shuts the motors off, it shuts down, and it just sits there and waits for you to replace the battery. If it drops below 7 volts, which is what this board needs, 7 volts. I've got speed control, so I can say fast, slow, medium. And what I was thinking was, because each one of those would have a different noise signature, just having it set a certain threshold when it starts the motors. I got to figure out what that threshold is.
Well, it's hard running cheap.
So I have a wireless mic that has a standard microphone plug on it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that it's non-powered? Has a 3-prong? Is that powered? I have a transmitter and a receiver with a 3-prong connector on it. Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, what do you need? You need the RCA type signal levels?
Line level, yeah.
Okay. I'll see if it's got an RCA out on it.
So does it have like a certain millivolt threshold?
He didn't. Unless I missed it, I didn't see anything that said.
You probably wouldn't know either anywhere unless you had a scope. I saw those scopes that Vincente, the one he was sending to you.
Mm-hmm.
I would have got it, except for it's low bandwidth. So if you want to see something that's 20 megahertz or something like that, that's not happening. But it was a storage scope, and he uses it, so kind of like when somebody uses something, you start to think it's probably pretty reliable. The only thing that really stopped me, because I think the price really wasn't that much, is suppose you want to see something that's 20 megahertz or something like that. The thing is like 12 max. I still may end up doing it. I may end up doing it for the camp, the kids. I'm just justifying.
But you get up in that area, you're getting up in the RF range. That's RF stuff. What do you expect? Jeez.
I'm thinking of, even, God, 30 years ago, I used to have 100 megahertz scopes, of course.
Yeah, but
they cost
you pay for
$50,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Storage scopes at that.
They were expensive, but I had them.
It was just one of those deals where, my boss and I, we get together at the end of, you have a budget for the year. We get together at the end of the year. And, well, we can't let this money go back. So what else are we going to buy?
Yeah, exactly. Just business. Just business.
See, for what I want, I've got a couple of microwave transmitters coming, and I wanted to find the IF on them. I think I just need to look for very low voltages because that's what the IF is. But I have no idea what I actually need to make that happen. So we'll try Vicente's scope, and if it doesn't work,
it just was something I don't have. It's one of those things.
Well,
and you don't need them that often, but you never can tell.
That one that he said that I could use, I looked on eBay and there was somebody selling it right then.
Yeah.
And I went and tried to bid on it, and it went for a little bit more than what I really wanted to spend on one for something that I don't necessarily have a great use for. I just know that I don't think my O-scope would do it. My old O-scope is really, really old.
Yeah. I had a Heath kit that I built from a kit, and I actually just ended up sitting it on the curb.
So I'm still not entirely sure what it is I'm really looking for when I'm trying to probe those things. I just know that I'm looking for it.
Yeah. What I find though is when you have this stuff, it may be far and few times, but there always comes a time where you want to do something, and it's just nice.
Yeah.
When you have, like, even with tools, when I talk to these young kids all the time. I said, when I was 21, I bought this really nice toolbox. Of course, the real box wore out, and I had to replace it. But I have some of those tools from then. And then you keep adding on, and you get to the point where you got everything.
Well, I like the idea of having some of those tools right there available. But I also know people, so it's nice to just say, here, you check that. See what you find.
So when I get ready to do something at 3 o'clock in the morning, I need to be ready.
Patty would kill me if I was actually trying to do stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning.
They have these spring compression things that you need to change shocks and stuff like that. I didn't got those.
How often do you do that?
It's not often. And I'm tell you what happened the last time. As I didn't even use it, I just got the whole thing, shock, spring. That's actually a lot easier, take some bolts off, put the bolts back in there, and
done.
Plus, I was a little bit afraid of that. I've only done that really once, compressing those springs.
Yeah.
I was really afraid to this thing.
That's not good stuff.
Yes, that could kill you.
Wow. Oh, my thing really was these microwave devices aren't designed to do what I want them to do, but I think they'll do it because they're microwave devices. And
what do you want them to do?
Speed and distance.
Okay, principle being
Doppler.
Okay, that's just really sophisticated stuff.
So if you imagine some crazy lunatic like me taking a simple $3 microwave and turning it into a Doppler microwave.
Doing that kind of stuff, it requires, because I don't remember the circuits anymore. It just is a lot of circuitry. Because I worked on these
Well,
high power radars for the Hawk missile system.
Yeah. The that 10 gigahertz one that we had last year and a half ago, it was giving, it wasn't quite right, but I could get speeds off of it because I could read the IF off of it. And I'm thinking there's got to be an IF in those things because they detect movement. So if they're detecting movement, there's got to be something in there that turns on the relay.
Okay. You send out a wave. It bounces off
Something.
well, that wall, let's say, and you get a signal back. So really, you need to know when you sent the first and how long it took to come back.
You should get a pulse, and then you should get a pulse back. And you should be able to do that, see the pulses, at least on that one radar, it came in on the IF. The IF would pulse, and then it would pulse again.
Now, is there a difference in the frequency? And I'm not remembering this stuff exactly. You send it out. Is there a difference in the frequency that comes back?
Yeah.
And okay, so it's that difference. Okay.
That's Doppler.
Yeah.
That's where the Doppler comes from.
Yeah.
Now, if these don't work like that, if they're not a Doppler type radar, I don't know if these will work anyway.
They probably are though, because if it's microwave. Because if you do it with like just a single pulse kind of thing, where you just send pulse, and then you look for the echo of the pulse. You're looking for the echo of the pulse. It would seem like that's really just a timing thing.
There's quite a bit of math.
It's not the frequency.
There's quite a bit of math in it.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of math, and just from what I remember with all those chassis we had for the radar, there's quite a bit of circuitry in there.
But the new ones aren't these low-powered ones. There's nothing to them. I mean, they're teeny tiny little things. They fit in light switches. And as it like one of them's a 24 gigahertz thing, and I'm like, that's insane. It's probably yay big.
Probably doesn't have. It's not that powerful.
It does for just switching lights on and off. It doesn't need to be.
I remember the high-powered radar that we had. That thing was so strong till you could be 100 yards away, and in the right situation, it could kill you.
Well,
that just burn you from the inside out.
That one that we had on the boat, if it was running for any length, they had exposure limits. You weren't allowed in the mast for very long.
And they used to, they were kind of like penalties. If you had that thing, it should always be pointed up. And sometimes for whatever reason, if that thing was down and you weren't paying any attention,
you were in trouble.
And they used to, like in training, they give demos. You take some steel wool, you throw it up in front of it, and it flames on. That was just to get you feared. Just to get you scared.
We had something called a portable radar. It was a little 900 megahertz radar unit, and little's not the right word, but it was much smaller than the ship's radar. That thing had enough power to do some damage. There was some exposure limits on that thing. They didn't want anybody really up in there.
You want to have people messing with it who don't have the appreciation.
Yeah, this natural reader thing is misbehaving. it's taken the whole